7 past the hour. Welcome back. Yeah, I saw that video, I'm sure you did too, of the white sheriff's deputy attacking an uncooperative black high school student. Jesus. You know, this is something that is so out of control right now. This horrific relationship between police and people in this country who happen to be of African descent. It's just unbelievable. The Justice Department said today it's going to investigate the attack on this girl. Now, this issue of how black kids are treated vis-a-vis white kids when students, when in a school setting they both commit, if that's the right word, the same level of offense. How's the black kid treated? How's the white kid treated? Last year, the racial divide in the school district in Columbia led to the formation of what's called the Black Parents Association. And as a result of that, there's been a divisive campaign between different slates for the district's Board of Education. Complaints of excessive and racially disparate disciplinary action had been a major concern for the district for years, especially for the parents, leading the district to form a task force last year to examine conduct, policies, and penalties. But one video taken by a student in a classroom where this other student was attacked speaks volumes. And you saw it, I assume, showed the sheriff's deputy assigned as a school safety officer yelling at a 16-year-old girl who had refused to stand and leave her math class after her teacher reportedly caught her using her phone. You see, using your phone in the class means a cop is going to attack you, literally attack you. Driving and down the street and changing lanes without turning on your turn signal means you are going to be arrested, put in a jail cell, and wind up dead. How many examples do you want? If you saw the video, the deputy tipped her chair and desk over backward, lifted her out of her seat, slammed her to the floor, then dragged her to the front of the classroom where he cuffed her with her hands behind her back. What is going on? What's going on? What's going on? Now, in this particular school district, 59% of the students are black. 77% of those suspended at least once in 2011, 2012 were black. And South Carolina, including Richland County, relies much more on suspension than the nation as a whole. 24% of public school students in South Carolina were suspended at least once in that particular school year, compared with 13% nationwide. The same as, my reaction to this is pretty much the same as my reaction to the story about the 5-year-old whose parents are saying, well, do you want to go to the hospital or you want to go to heaven? Which means I don't know how to process stuff like this. I really don't. I saw that video, and I just thought, it's unbelievable. You know, cops in schools, first of all, the cop is armed. He has been trained to arrest people who are breaking laws. Taking your phone out in a classroom is not breaking a law. I gotta wonder, why was not the school counselor called? If they have cops in the schools with sidearms, do they have a counselor who might have gone to the classroom and sat with the girl for a moment and said, look, you're not allowed to have your phone. You know this. So let me have the phone, and you continue your class, and you come to my office and get it when the school day's over. Is that so difficult to do? Is that just not a path they're going to take? So when a defiant 16-year-old says, no, I'm not going to give you my phone, I'm not going to stand up, you call in the cops with a gun and handcuffs and arrest her after throwing her across the room? I don't know anything about this girl. She might be a real smart mouth. She might be your typical teenager who loves to challenge authority. That doesn't matter. You don't bring in the cops because somebody is a smart aleck, if that's what the case was. What was shocking to me in watching that video is how the other students just sat there, frozen. Now, what did I expect? I don't know. I don't know what I expected. I have a feeling that if I would have been 16 in that classroom, when the officer attacked the girl, I probably would have tried to run away if I were a black teenager. Because who knows what's going to happen next? You got a white cop with a gun throwing a black girl across the floor after knocking her out of her chair. What's going to happen next? Another student, a kid named Michael Workman, 16, who's white, said that the same deputy arrested him on suspicion of stealing a phone during his freshman year. He didn't steal a phone. He wasn't convicted of anything. He said that after he was handcuffed, this same deputy lifted him by the handcuffs for a few seconds. The kid said, quote, I had bruises on my wrist and I wasn't even handcuffed for that long. Now, this happens right during a time when there are a couple of studies going on nationally, and I thought we had done all this to compare the methods of discipline used for the same offenses committed, if you want to call them offenses, rule breaking, by black students and white students. Now, this deputy also detained a second student, a girl named Ania Kenny, who told a local television station that her only offense was objecting to his treatment of the other girl. This is one kid that said, hey, don't do that. Miss Kenny, who's a student, said, I was crying, like literally screaming, crying like a baby. I couldn't believe this was happening. I'd never seen anything like that in my life, a man use that much force on a girl. And as she protested, she said, the cop said, you're coming too, since you've got so much to say. You know, we have a serious problem with police in this country. We really do. I don't care what level, and I'm not saying every cop, but you know damn good and well what I'm saying. The militarization of the police, this whole idea of dressing cops up like they're soldiers. We'll be right back.